Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Main from Breakout here with another episode of Trades of the Week. We obviously had a big green week. So, it was over. We fell out of the range. We broke market structure. We'll see you next year. All of a sudden, weekly close above 60K, and we're so fucking back. It's like we never left. Not surprising at all. The top trades of the week were all on the long side, primarily, as usual, Bitcoin and Ethereum. We have over 100 symbols available to trade. The most traded coins on a regular basis are still Bitcoin and Ethereum. However, one of the top trades was actually on Ponky. So that's right, you can trade Ponky at Breakout. We have a lot of the meme coins and new coins that have a lot of mind share. We do our best to add them quickly and make them available for you guys to trade. So let's go over what we got here. Who bought the dip successfully? So the most profitable trade in a single trade was just over $13,000. It was a 2 Bitcoin position at 56,344. So you're looking at about $112,000, $113,000 position here. They filled the position on the 8th of July at 1535.08. So let's just go see what their thought process was. See if I can reverse engineer this. So 1505 on July 8th. I mean, yeah, they bought pretty close to the bottom here, right? So somewhere in here, right? Somewhere in this wick. And I think that's pretty much as good as you can get. If you weren't knife catching the initial dump, the retest is usually a good opportunity. Like if it's going to bounce and we're forming bottoming structure, doesn't mean the bottom has to be in, but we're going to have another leg higher like we obviously have here. I show this all the time in my streams. Wait for that first bottom to form, and then a lot of the times what they'll do, the bottom will form, they'll either come back near it and then go, or they'll come back to it, sweep it, and then go, right? So sweep it, or they come just shy of it. And generally, the way at least I think of this mentally is they're testing the knife catchers. They're being tested here. If you longed here, you're like, oh my God, I longed the Pico bottom. And then all of a sudden, price trades $5,000, $6,000 higher than your entry, and then comes all the way back to your entry. A lot of people are going to puke on that kind of move. A lot of people did puke on this move. This trader longed this dip. Another little tip that you can use here is you wait for the first dump to happen, pull your fib from the low to the high, and wait for it to come back into that sweet spot. And you can see here, there's the 50. There's the sweet spot from the 62 to the 79, right? 61.8 to 78.6. Anywhere in there would have been epic, and that's exactly where this trader had bought. They bought 2 Bitcoin. And let's see where they rode this bad boy to. They held it to 63K just about. So, I mean, they caught over a $6,000 move, 2 Bitcoin times it by 2. There's your 13K profit. And they exited on the 15th at 8:50 a.m. Let's just take a look there. They did better than me. I puked my bottom longs like right here into 60K. So they managed to hold all the way up to 62. I think that's an awesome fucking trade. Took profit right into kind of this potential resistance, which seeing as the Chads are in control now, just turned into support, but great trade nonetheless. So there's a little tip for you on catching the dips there, something I use often. If you're not wanting to catch that initial knife, next trade is very similar, just a 1 Bitcoin buy. This is a true knife catch. This is basically the Pico low. So 1 Bitcoin buy, so that's a $53,000 position. They bought 1 Bitcoin at 53,604. They held it to 64,460. So they caught almost the entire move. Very impressive. So they entered at just before 2 a.m. on the 4th of July. I mean, that is the low. Can't get much better than that. I checked. This is a 100K account. So I'm sure this person wished they longed maybe more than just 1 Bitcoin, because they have up to 5x leverage. You can get 500K on position on down there. Regardless, they got a 50K position on, and they rode this thing all the way up to here. They caught the absolute low and they sold. I don't know if this is the top or if the top's in. They actually sold here. Sorry. Sold up here. 64,600. You cannot ask for any more than that. That's literally a $10,000 move. They longed 1 Bitcoin. They made 10 grand. Imagine if they were long 5, right? 50 grand right there. This is a monster move, monster catch, 20% move on Bitcoin with just 1 single Bitcoin being on the long. Still 10K, 5-figure profit in a little over 10 days. Fantastic trade. That's balls of steel to buy this, and then incredible patience. He bought here, or she held through this. A lot of people puke on that retest because they're like, oh, fuck, maybe I should have sold up here. I'm going to get out. I don't want to round trip this. Incredible patience. Very nice trade. Congrats on that 5-figure win. All right, next up, we have Ethereum. This trader made just under 10K, 92.66. They entered on the 13th and they exited on the 14th. So this was a little over a 24-hour hold, just about a day. They caught effectively a $100 move with a 100 ETH position. So 100 ETH, right, times by the entry, right? So this is a $315K dollar position. It's a big old trade there. Mid 6-figure trade. They caught a $100 move. Boom, almost 10K profit. So let's see if we can reverse engineer this. This is a little more low time frame. So 1608 on the 13th. So I actually really like this trade. I'm going to explain why in a moment here. They exit the 14th at 2157. So 1608 on the 13th, 14th at 2157. So right into here. I mean, great trade. Not discounting the trade at all. I think this is an awesome trade. They caught a 5% move on a hefty position. Over a $250,000 trade there. I think the reason they entered, maybe they watched my stream. I don't know. Maybe they did. But if you watch your boy main stream, he threw out the level 3100. So I had 3100 as a key reclaim level for Ethereum. 3100. And I said, if we start getting some closes over 3100, I think that this is going to trade back into the range. So this 3100 comes from the mid range of just taking the weekly range. So that's what I had here. I had the weekly range. So from low to high, boom, 3100, right around the mid range there. So I wanted to see a reclaim of the mid range. And then I thought we'd trade back into the range. They basically bought this reclaim here, right? We started reclaiming 3100, that key level. So I don't know what their exact entry was. It was a day trade from what I can gather. They basically caught, from here up into here, this leg of price here. So for me, once we reclaimed 3100, because we had a daily close back within on the 12th. So on the day of the 13th, which is here, so all this PA, high time frame is bull mindset. The daily close back within the range, you're looking for longs. There was a couple here, right? There's an hourly order block, another hourly order block, another hourly order block. So perhaps that's what they were thinking, buying in on this bullish market structure. We reclaimed it on the 12th with a high time frame close here. Then you have a low, a high, higher low, higher high, just in an uptrend now. And now it's just a matter of finding your entry and getting in there. So another just about 5-figure trade. Well done to you, sir or madam, on Ethereum. So the one I'm most interested in, let's be honest, is the Ponky trade. So we're going to check that out shortly here. Another Bitcoin long here, just over $9,000 profit. So this was open on the 12th at 1431, closed on the 7th, or the 15th, excuse me, at 1316. This is just over $115,000 position, 2 Bitcoin, 57K entry price. So they bought right in here. This move up basically on this retest here. So personally, I don't see anything there on the H4. Maybe they're buying in on the hourly on this consolidation. Effectively, right, you put in your low, high, higher low, higher high. So you're hunting for a higher low somewhere. And, they're maybe looking at some SR. You've got decent SR level right there, right? Caps your highs, caps your lows. This is right around where they bought here. For me personally, maybe like the 6-hour here or the 12-hour even. Yeah, the 12-hour actually gives you an order block. Would you look at that? So you have your down candle before your up move that broke market structure. So they're buying within this 12-hour order block. Potentially they went in on the lower time frame and they're finding, some sort of lower time frame trigger. But a great little trade here, and they rode that up for a few $1,000s, capturing just over $9,000 profit. It's a 5K move on a $115,000 position. Another fantastic trade. So now this is the one I'm really interested in. Ponky, because you can trade Ponky with us. You're not trading Ponky at any other prop firm. I'll tell you that much. And this thing is, I don't know if this is price discovery. This is just the Bybit chart. Let's just see here. I mean, it's pretty damn close to all-time highs. So let's just see what they were doing, what they were mixing. So they opened 2 positions. So they got long 250,000 Ponky. This is so funny even just saying this. So that's a $103,000 position if my mental math is correct. So on the first position, they closed out for 6,500. The second one, 9K. So when you combine these, it's a $15,000 profit. So they opened this on the 14th. So these were just back to back. They were just entering in separate orders here. So let's see, 611 on the 14th. What jumps out to me on something like this is we put in the low here, okay, with Bitcoin. Same thing as that Bitcoin example, right? Came all the way back down, tested those guys. Another high, came back down low again, and then pushed. We see a nice pullback here, and it looks like they longed right in here, if I'm not mistaken. Right in this pullback, which is pretty much like sniping it. Like I see this right here, right? So there's your H1 consolidation. It breaks out. There's your order block that broke it out, and boom, there's your retest. They entered right in here. Inval for me on this kind of a setup is either right below the OB or below the swing, and they sold this right into here. So a great move. I mean, they made $15,000. They caught a 15% move on a 100K plus position, but I bet you they wish they would have held for a little longer because this thing gave another retest and then just continued to rip up almost 40% from their entry. Now, still fantastic trade on a coin fucking called Ponky. $15,000. You can trade it with breakout. That's all I got for you for this week, guys. I will talk to you soon with another video. Peace.